Hello everybody, this is Casey with L337Tech, and today I want to talk to you about my new product, Texas Production Query Tool. Now I want to get to the demo as quickly as I can, so if you just bought this product and you're looking for setup instructions and things like that, scroll to the end of the video and we'll get to that kind of thing. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the new program. So the program itself is using Excel as kind of a front end where the code is kept in a separate piece or a separate module. But Excel allows you to have a nice front end where you can use cool things like copy and paste and things like that. When you first open the tool, it's going to ask you to activate the tool. Just run through the activation process. I'll get into more detail on that later in the video. But if you have activated it, you'll get this little pop-up saying who it's activated to and basically where you can go to get a copy for yourself. So this is the tool itself, and basically this Texas production tool is going to give you some basic information about a well. You know, you've got the lease name, you know, the dates related to the well, what formation it's in, is it a vertical or horizontal, what kind of depth is it at, and then all your basic identifying numbers. And over here you're going to get really cool links. Basically, you've got a link to the ArcGIS map, a link to the well log files, the link to the well files, and a link to the completion information. Those links are going to work for every well. The issue is not all wells have well files or well logs or well completion information. A lot of them do, some of them don't. You're kind of up to the state and what they grab from the operators. But the most important thing this tool delivers is a daily rate for your well, and the production itself is usually up to date, basically up to the last 3 months ago. So, and it really depends on the operator how old the data is. You know, more efficient operators, you might actually get December's data right now instead of November. Right now it's early February, and we've got November data, so that kind of gives you an idea of how old the data is. But some operators right now have December data, so that's kind of interesting. But basically, this tool can deliver everything you need to know about a well. Now, if you're a landowner, you're going to want to know how much production it made, so you can kind of keep records. And this is Excel, so you can just copy and paste this and add up all the production to make sure that your checks are lining up properly. If you're a petroleum engineer, you can use all this information for reconnaissance purposes. You can poke around the ArcGIS map. If there's a well on the map that you're not really familiar with, you can click it, dump it in here, go to the completion information, and really find out everything you need to know about this well. It's a really good espionage tool. And basically, if you're anyone else, like a landman or something like that looking to pick up mineral interest, this cool tool can help you get familiar with areas just by browsing around the ArcGIS map and then pulling up wells in this tool. So I'm going to kind of go through a scenario, if I'm a landowner, how I might use this. So basically, if you're a landowner, you're probably going to be in here, the well index. The well index is L337Tech proprietary well index. What we've done is we've basically gathered all the wells that are on the Texas Railroad Commission's website, and we dumped them into this sheet so that you have the ability to sort, filter, find all the wells on your property, things like that. So hypothetically, let's say that you own land and then the operator on your land is Chevron. So you can come here to this operator name and filter on Chevron, and boom, it clicked all the chevrons. Alright, so I got Chevron. Another thing I know about my land is it's going to be in Panola. So just type in Panola. Boom, clicked on Panola. Okay, and I also have this arranged by lease name, and it just so happens that I think the leases on my farm are Adams wells. And here they are. Boom, all the Adamses. So now, once you've kind of filtered down to the wells on your farm, and you're kind of interested, what's the production? What is it about these wells? Here's a Haynesville well. That's really interesting. So So I'm just going to go ahead, and you can click anywhere on this row, double click. Okay, here's an interesting thing. This well actually produced from more than one formation in its life. At one point it was in Travis Peak, and at one point it was in Cotton Valley. Well, I want to see what's producing right now, so I'm going to hit the Cotton Valley. Hit OK. What it's doing now is grabbing a bunch of different information from a bunch of different pages on the Texas Railroad site, adding them all together, and displaying things nicely so that you can get things quickly and click on things faster. So basically we have the production, how much oil and gas it made. These are daily rates, so 20 barrels of oil a day. We've got all the information. You know, it's a vertical well, 9,400 feet, Cotton Valley. Now let's take a look at some of these features. So let's click on the RGS map, and it takes you to literally a map of the well and all the wells around it, which is very interesting because you can use these tools, identify wells, to click on other wells near it, and you get this, and see, here's your API number. Go ahead and copy that, and you can paste it right here, and it will pull up everything about that well. I'm not going to do that yet because I want to show you these other things. Well file, click on well files, and boom, it starts to pull up the well file information. And again, you know, you can see that it was in the Cotton Valley, Travis Peak. So let's look at Cotton Valley. It's going to download the well file, which can take some time sometimes. The tool itself is at the mercy of the speed of the Texas Railroad website. So sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's not. But here's all your well file information. You basically, you know, there's 50 pages. You get to learn everything that there is about this well. You know, survey data, you know, here you're starting to get into the test information, the IP data, how much sand and fluid was pumped. Here's your pounds of sand, gallons of fluid for the frac job. Basically everything you need to know. So that's why these links are just super cool and really important. So I'm going to show you, you know, one of the new Haynesville wells. So I'm going to double click on that Haynesville well. And here we go. Here's the production. You can see it's a much higher rate. You're not going to get any oil. You know, Haynesville shale well. It's much deeper. It's a horizontal. So now I'm going to go back to the map, and let's start to investigate the map a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put a circle around the well that I originally clicked on. I kind of want to know what's going on around here. So let's click on this well and see. What's this well producing in? The little paste button. It'll filter the number for dashes and things and get it properly. Wow, this well produced from a lot of different things. The Pettit, the Travis Peak, Cotton Valley. I'm interested in the Pettit. Pettit tends to be a little more oily. Let's take a look at that. Okay, there we go. We got, you know, it's kind of petering off. The oil's okay. We get all the information about the well. So now that you kind of see how the map feature works, let's pull up a well that actually has a log so we can see how that works. I'm going to go back to my well index. I know this Adams 61 is one of the newer wells. Let's go take a look at it. They were trying to drill this Travis Peak consolidated formation, and it did okay, but not great. So you can get all the information about it. You can see it's one of the newer wells. Let's take a look at the well log on this one. Click on the link. And boom, you can see we get a little log where you can download it or view it online. Just go ahead and open it. It's going to download it. Depending on how big the log is, this could take some time. Most of them are pretty small, so it's not that big of a deal. And there we go. There we have it. Let's go ahead and zoom in. And here we go. Here's everything you need to know about this well. About this well log. You can see where the perforations are. Pretty interesting stuff. Okay, now, if I'm a petroleum engineer, how am I going to use this a little bit differently than a landowner or a landman or somebody just kind of poking around? Well, there's a bunch of interesting, cool things you can do. So first, I want to go back to my ArcGIS map that I pulled up on the well on the land. You know what? Actually, So first I'm going to go and pull up the Haynesville well, because the Haynesville is kind of what I'm interested in right now as a petroleum engineer. So, okay, so, you know, this well did okay. So let's go back to the ArcGIS map. Boom. Okay, so there it is. Now I want to put a circle around it, and I want to start poking around, looking for other people around here and seeing what they're doing. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit, zoom out a little bit more, scroll over. I can start to see some action happening up here, a little bit of action right there. Okay, kind of zoom up here and look at these wells. So here's some very interesting stuff. You got a group of horizontal wells, and then you've got some very interesting long horizontal wells. Those are the ones I'm interested in. I'm a petroleum engineer. I'm kind of doing some reconnaissance in the area. I want to know what people are doing. So I identify the well, copy its API number, paste it in here. Okay, this is important. So some wells that don't have production, or they have pre-release production, but they don't have any pre-release production yet, you're going to get an error on the well because there's no production to pull up. If there was even 1 day of pre-release production or regular production, you wouldn't get this error, but because there is no production, you're going to get this. However, this doesn't mean that these links don't work, and those are the links that I want to focus on. So yes, we got an error, we don't have any production, but I've got these cool links. Let's check out this. This is one of the cooler links. If your well is newer than November 2009, you're going to get a completion information. And this is a very detailed package that the Texas Railroad site uses now. You can see it gives you a little bit of information about the well. You click on it, and now you get a little bit more information. And what you're really after is this G5 for a gas well. It's a W2 for an oil well. Basically what it's going to tell you is everything about the IP, what kind of fluid it is, all the cool little interesting things that petroleum engineers like to know. So you can see there's your IP, 1.3 million a day, really no condensate associated with it, really high gravity oil, good color. Specific gravity of the gas is a little low for the area. That's kind of weird because it was saying that it's a Cotton Valley well. Another interesting thing is you could see that it was basically a 5,000 foot lateral, and they're only getting 1.3 million a day. It's probably not very successful well. So as a petroleum engineer, I'm going to say, you know what, you probably don't want to go over here. And these guys, Devon, you know, they're probably pretty upset. Now, another really cool thing you can do as a petroleum engineer, let me go back to the well index. Let's go back to our Haynesville well. I want to know, is Chevron doing a good job in Panola with the Haynesville? So what you could do, I'm going to open up another tool that we have available. Well, it's not available yet, but that we've developed it at Lead Tech. It's called Quick Decline. So what I want to do is go back to my production. I want to copy this. I'm going to copy this, come over to my Quick Decline. I'm going to paste it in, and boom, you can see it right there. I'm going to get rid of the flush data. And then I'm going to set my IP right. No, it's a Haynesville well, so B needs to be 1. DLM's about 4. Now let's go back to fit it. Okay, there you go. We fit the data, start at the end, and here's your EUR. Now another thing you can do, you can go to economic, let's turn it into a gas well. GUR is 0, or the oil yield is 0. Your expenses look okay. We got the strip file in there for the prices. Shrinkage should be more like 98. Well cost for them, probably $10 million. Expenses look okay. Interest is a little low. And we get our taxes. This is going to be 0. And boom. Okay, so you can see kind of the project economics, and basically they're looking at a minus $7 million in this project. So they did not do very good. You can see the development cost is $6 per MCF. Well, the price of gas is $2.50 per MCF. So they're probably not coming back to this area and doing another Haynesville well. So, you know, as a petroleum engineer, that's some of the stuff you can do. And even a landowner, you can come in there and do quick decline on all the wells in your land and get a really good forecast of your actual cash flow, because you can display these things. Let's say I want to see 3 years, but I want to see monthly, so 30 days. You can see basically monthly royalty checks if you change your net revenue interest to your actual royalty interest. So it's a really useful program. It's coming soon, don't worry about that. So basically this concludes the demo. As you can see, it's a very robust reconnaissance tool. As a landowner, it allows you to check up on your operators, make sure that you know what they're reporting to the state is what you're getting paid on. Basically get a lot of information about all the wells in Texas. And the really cool thing, you've got an index of every well in Texas that's, you know, producing basically, and there's more than that too. So you can, you know, even if you're not looking at stuff on your land, you could filter on, you know, what's Chesapeake doing in Texas with this specific county, then sort on depth and things like that. So it's really useful reconnaissance tool and checking up on everybody. So let's talk about what you're going to do to basically purchase the program, download the program, and then set your computer up so that it will actually work. So basically, to get the program, you're going to visit Lead Tech, go to apps, and one of the apps is the Texas Production Query tool. You can read about it. I'm going to dump the video in right here that I'm actually making right now. You can read about it, but just go ahead and click the Buy Now link. What it's going to do is it's going to activate my activation servers, and you're going to get an email in a certain amount of time that sends you the download link. And once you clicked on the download link, you'll actually get the program itself in a zip file. If you unzip that file, there'll be 3 different files within it. You're going to have the front end for the program itself. It's just kind of what the user sees and how he manipulates data. You've got the code, so this is, you know, your encrypted code that the front end uses, and you'll have some quick setup instructions. But if you're watching this video, you probably don't need that. One thing important to do is when you're using this program, the code has to always be in the same folder. So you can make as many, you know, copies of this program on your computer. You just have to keep the code in the same folder at all times. So that's kind of one of the important things. The other important thing, when you first open this program, you're going to get a pop-up, basically an activation pop-up, and it's going to say, you know, give me your username, password, and everything that you use to purchase the product online. It's going to take you to a website where it's going to take you to the activation server on a website where you plug in your activation codes, and it will give you an activation code to plug into the tool, and then boom, you've activated the program on the computer that you're using. And the kind of the rules on that are, if you purchase this program for your home, you can activate it on any computer in your home. If you're a company and you purchase for your company, you can activate it on any computer in your company. If you want someone else to use it that's not you and not in your home or your company, they're going to need to purchase their own copy. So that's kind of the rules on the copyright and everything. So it's really flexible, and you can activate as many computers as you want within your household. Now, the other important thing you need to do before using Texas Production Query is you need to go into your Microsoft Office, go to Microsoft Office, go to Access. Now, generally, it depends on if you have Office 2007 or Office 2010. You at least need Office 2007, but in the top left corner there's going to be something here, and click on Options, and click on Trust Center, and then click on Trust Center Settings, and then you need to go where it says Macro, and you need to enable all macros. Click that. Okay, done, done, done. Now, you need to go into Excel, do the same exact thing. So I'm going to go to Excel, top left corner, Options, Trust Center Settings, Macro Settings, enable all macros. In Excel, there's one other thing you need to do where it says protected view. Go ahead and uncheck one or some of those, just so you don't get that protected view every time you want to open your file. It just makes things annoying and it slows things down. It's not fun for anybody. So that's it. Once you get all those things set up, you can click on your Texas Production Query tool. It's going to open up, and it's got the entire Texas well index in there. So it's a very large file, and it's going to take a little bit to open up, but depending on your computer, it can be fast. So once it opens up, again, you get this kind of who it's activated to, and if this isn't you, you need to go to the website and buy your own. It's not very expensive, and you can use it on any computer in your home, so it's worth getting. And that's it. That's all I want to share you. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you got what you wanted out of it, and let me know if there's any features or anything you'd like added. This is Casey with L337Tech. Thanks for watching.